What's up guys, Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com, back with another SketchUp extension tutorial for you. So this video is going to be a little bit different because I have a question for you guys as well, but I wanted to focus on JHS Powerbar's functions for inserting components at points. Before I get started, today's video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon. Patreon, as most of you know, is the website where you can support creators that you like on YouTube. So if you like what I'm doing on this channel, please consider supporting me at the links down below. Now let's go ahead and just jump into it. Alright, so this is an extension that has a ton of different tools in it, and I really wanted to focus on the function for adding components at different guide points. And so the first thing I wanted to do is, as you watch this, think about what you would use this for and leave a comment down below, because I'd love to hear from you guys. I feel like there's a lot of functions that you could use this for, but I'd love to hear from you what you'd be interested in doing with this. And so the way that this extension works, well, JHS Powerbar is a combination of different extensions, but in this case we're going to focus on control points and components as well as control points at vertex. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a grid. And so I'm going to start off and I'm just going to use the sandbox tools from scratch option to draw a grid. And so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to type in 1 foot to draw a 1 foot by 1 foot grid, and then we'll just draw, we'll call this a 15 foot by 15 foot grid. So now I have a 15 foot by 15 foot grid in here, and I'm going to start off by using the sandbox tool smooth tool in order to give this some height and just a little bit of irregularity. So I'm going to kind of pull this edge up, I'm going to push this edge down using those tools. And so now what I've got is I've got a little bit more of an organic shape in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use JHS Powerbar's CPoints at vertex function. And so in order to do that, I need to select a bunch of lines that intersect. And so I'm going to double click on this group that I created. I'm going to do a Control A, and I'm going to select all. So I'm inside the group and I have all of this geometry selected. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this button for CPoints at vertex. And so when I do that, if you zoom in, you can see that's going to add a whole bunch of control points in here, or guide points. And basically those are points in there that mark a space in 3D. And so those are just basically marking different points. And the first thing I'm going to do is, while these are selected, because that's the easiest time to do this, I'm going to go up to Edit, and I'm going to click Make Group. And you'll notice I didn't right click this time. And the reason for that is when you right click, on little points like this, it can be difficult to click on them, and so sometimes you'll accidentally deselect, which can be a real pain because then you have to come back in here and try to get them all selected again. But now I have those in a group, and I can rename that in my outliner just so I know what that is. I can just call this guide points. So now I know what that is, but I'm going to double click in there. And so I'm going to do a Control A, and I'm going to make a copy of these off to the side just so you can see what we created. So basically what we did is we've created a grid of points everywhere where lines intersected in this model. And so now what I want to do is I want to use the function over here for select CPoints and one component to place. And what that's going to do is that's going to place a component that I select at every single point in this model. And so what I'm going to do is, let's say we wanted to put a sphere in here. So I'm going to tap the C key to activate the circle tool. I'm just going to draw a little circle right here, and then I'm going to draw another circle, and I'm going to tap the left arrow key in order to draw this along the green axis. I'm going to draw another circle right here. So I'm just going to click on this center circle, activate the follow me tool, and then click on this face to make a sphere. And then I'm going to triple click on the sphere and right click, and I'm going to make that a component. And we'll go ahead and we'll call that sphere for right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this option for select CPoints and one component to place. But before I do that, there's one other change that I want to make. Because right now, if I was to do this, and I'll just select a couple of these and my component, if I was to do this right now, these wouldn't be centered on this point. And in addition to those not being centered on this point, they're going to be too big. So I need to make a couple adjustments. But you can see how what we want is we want these to be centered on this point, at least for right now. And we may try something else with that in a second. But what I'm going to do, and actually, I'm going to select all of these points and make a copy off to the side using the move tool for later, because I want to try something else with it in a minute. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double click inside this sphere. You'll note that right now this sphere is not centered on the origin point of the component. So every component has its own point where basically the axes intersect. So each one of these has its own origin, basically. Well, what we want to do is we want to take this and we want to center this on this point, because you'll note that when it brings this in, this basically brings in your components with the origin wherever these control points are. And so the first thing I'm going to do to make this easier is I'm going to go up to my view and I'm going to turn X-ray mode on. When I turn X-ray mode on, what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to triple click in here, and I'll be able to still see this point even if I move this sphere over top of it. And so I'm going to start and I'm going to find a point on the top in the center of this, and I'm going to move it along the red axis here. Then I'm going to move it along the green axis here. And then I'm going to move it straight down, and you'll notice I'm just using inferencing in order to do this, so that this is basically centered on this point. So now, if I was to come in here and select all of these different control points, and also this component, and run this, now it's going to be centered on this point. So you can see how I was able to basically bring those in and center them on all these points. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize these, because they're a little bit too big. And so in order to resize these, it's actually really easy because each one of these is a copy of the same component. So if I was to come in here, for example, and just use the scale tool on one of these, you can see how they're all going to change because they're all instances of this one component. So double click inside your component and then just click on your face and activate the scale tool by tapping the S key. What that's going to do is that's going to allow you to scale this. And you're going to want to select one of these corner points. So you're going to click, and you can see how if you just click and move this, this doesn't keep these centered. So what you want to do is you want to hold the control key, because that's going to lock this so that you're scaling about the center. So you can see how as I hold the control key and I move this, these are all scaling, but they're remaining centered on these points. And so you can see how you can use this to come in here and you can actually place objects at intersection points in here. So now if you wanted to, you could probably come in here and use an extension like pipe along path or something like that in order to add some pipes on this face. So you could use this for different kinds of trusses. If you needed to create kind of more of a 3D truss, I think I actually have a video about that I'll link to in the notes down below. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this set of control points that I selected earlier. First of all, I'm going to cut them, and then I'm going to do an edit, paste in place. So I basically selected them, I hit Control X, and then I went up to edit and click paste in place. And basically what I wanted to do was just get them out of this group and not associate them with this group anymore. But what I'm going to try, and I haven't actually tried this, I'm going to try to come in here and I'm going to draw a 1 foot by 1 foot rectangle. Whoops. So I'm going to tap the R key to activate the rectangle tool, and then I'm just going to type in 1 foot, comma 1 foot, and hit the enter key. And then I'm just going to double click on that and make it a component. And we'll just leave it named component 1 for right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing as I did before, where I'm going to select all these control points, and I'm also going to select this component, and I'm going to use select CPoints and one component to place. And what that's going to do is that's going to do the same thing, where it's going to place all of these different components in here, and they're all at different heights based on where those control points are. And now what you could do is you could come in and you could start doing some kind of random push-pull type stuff, that sort of thing. So you can see how this gives you a completely different kind of shape and a completely different kind of option than you get over here. So now I want to hear from you guys. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you'd use this function, if this is something that you find useful. If I get a really good idea, I'd love to make a video on something like that, but I'd just love to hear from you, kind of some ideas that you have about using something like this. If you like this video, please remember to click that like button down below. If you're new around here, remember to click that subscribe button for new SketchUp content every week. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Every little bit helps, even if it's only $1 a month, so make sure you check out that link in the notes down below. But in any case, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.